Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com, and ZEBLAZE is back with the GTS PRO. It's the Pro version of their ever-popular, what do you say, Apple style of shape smartwatch? Not the round one, the GTR. This is the GT Square Pro. Okay, so how does it differ, and would you want it? We're going to discover that today. First, we'll unbox it for a moment, show you there's a manual, a card in here, a charger, and the watch itself, which is going to tether to the GloryFit app. Where can you get it? Well, there's the AliExpress store, the official store that has it, and Banggood has it as well. This particular one's coming to us from Banggood. It's, again, a 1.65-inch screen. We'll show you all the specs on the GTS Pro. Very inexpensive, $27, and most likely we'll have a coupon to get the price down a little bit. Check the show notes for all of that. The link to Banggood, and hopefully we'll also have the AliExpress link if it's available as well. Now, let's get into the features and specs of this one. It's a good-sized screen with 240 by 295 pixels. I'll tell you right off, that's bigger and more than what you saw on the original GTS. You have an ultra-thin metal body, very lightweight, multiple watch faces. You can personalize a custom dial. This is a boost up, 24 different goal-based exercises in this one. Blood oxygen and blood pressure monitoring are in it. 24/7 heart rate monitoring too. You got real-time weather forecast. Of course, you got to be tethered to your phone, and it derives that information and pushes it to the watch. Music control, camera control. What else can we tell you? Bluetooth 5, full screen touch and side button using the GloryFit app. We'll take a quick look at that. Languages supported, heart rate monitor. All of these things are in here. But wait. There's more. Let me flip it over. The back side shows you real-time pace and distance, daily step goals, multiple watch faces, stopwatch in it, and so forth. We'll dive in and look at that. Here's the meat. You got IPS HD color display, 200 milliamp hour battery, looking at about 15 days standby, 7 days typical use, and about an hour and a half to charge using a clamp style charger. We'll take a look at that as well. Okay, here it is in the box, and this one's got the nice beige kind of a band on it, TPU style of a band. You got a cover over the sensors you want to take off. Charger will attach there, and it's your standard 2-pin charger, magnetically coupled. There we go. Button on the side. This is a nice silver version of it, and a cover here that tells you to tether to the GloryFit app. So we'll charge that up in a minute. Here's a card that tells you thanks for choosing us and their web address and Facebook information, and then the manual. And we're looking at the English version of the manual here. Oh boy, tiny little print. Can you see all of that on there? Hope so. We're going to try to get it close enough for you to freeze frame if you want to read it in detail. Otherwise, we're just going to plow through it. The GloryFit app QR code for scanning, app operations, how you go about tethering, all standard stuff, FAQs, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for the English manual. Alrighty, let me show you this when we turn it on after we charge it up. Surprise! Here's the exact same watch in black. We're going to take all these covers off of them. Got the front one off already. Nice black TPU band. Same basic 2-pin charger that attaches here. And this time I can show you that it actually will hold the watch. So it's a pretty good strong magnetic coupling on here as well. All your diodes and everything are in here. And look at that interesting design on that. Wow, very fascinating. Okay, we've got one button to press to turn it on. Press and hold and wait, and there it vibrated, says ZEBLAZE, and we pop up into a watch face. First thing you notice is a beautiful quality of the color, the contrast between light and dark, and the full frameness of the watch itself. We'll compare that in a minute to the non-pro version. When we slide down, you get all these different aspects, finding your phone, brightness, about, and settings. And it times out really quick on us. Come into brightness, you see it's actually on the lowest setting available. Let's crank that up. There we go. Got to hit it just right. And it can get really seriously bright. Yeah. Hard to tell on the camera because the camera auto adjusts. But actually for doing the video, it's going to be better if I leave it on its lowest setting. Okay. The about tells you what it is for tethering. Yeah, it looks like it's not as sensitive, huh? Oh, tiny little writing, the GTS PRO. And then overall settings. Yeah, not sure. Anyway, brightness again. You can off, reset, and info. So the things we just looked at already are there also in settings. That's when you scroll that way. When you go up this way, you've got notifications pushed to you from your phone, if you have any of those set, and you set all that up in the app. Now we go off to this side, and you've got your step count so far for the day. You've got heart rate that will automatically kick in. Of course, it's doing it 24 hours in the background. You have blood pressure. You saw it showed briefly the last reading, and now it's beginning to monitor, and it's a rather lengthy process to get the blood pressure, but it has that in here. And then you have blood oxygen. Again, using green diodes, it'll get you that reading as well. Here's last night's sleep time. It's a good thing it's a high-resolution screen because the writing is really small. There's your total, your light, and your deep sleep, and that's all. It doesn't show you more here. Remote music player. There's no onboard storage for music, nothing like that, but it will tether to your phone through the app. Play music. You have your training section for, look at this, it's got swimming. Now, interestingly, it only supports IP67, which is, as they say in China, for a splash protection, when you're washing your hands. But the fact that it has swimming tells me you should be able to dunk it underwater. So there's a little bit of a conflict there on how waterproof it would be. Outdoor running, swimming, cycling, walking, tennis, skipping, and so forth. None of these tie in with GPS. There's no GPS in the watch, so if it's a moving thing like walking or running or running or walking, it's going to tie in with your pedometer. Cycling and things will probably just give you a reading of your heart rate and time and calories burned. What's this? Alpinism? I think that they mean climbing, right? Cricket? A lot of interesting stuff on here. There's supposedly 24 different sporting activities that you have access to here. Then there's the weather in your area as pushed from the phone, and messages again that you could get into. A built-in stopwatch, which when we start it and let it run, and by now you know Uncle Tix tries this test. We try to leave it and see if it'll still be running. There it is back at stopwatch. If I press the button, well, it didn't set to 0, but it not continuing to run. So when you leave stopwatch, it pauses it. So it has to be in the stopwatch screen in order for it to continuously run. Does not run in the background, in other words. Too bad. Find your phone. Functions, which looks a lot like settings. And back to the watch faces. Now, in terms of watch faces, we have quite a few in here. Let's get back to the very beginning. Oh, it loops, That's right. Here's a nice round one. A busy one like that I can bring up to show you all the details of what it's collecting in terms of data, including the forecast for your weather. And the current temperature is up there. So that's interesting. Here's a Apple kind of layout type, but these are not touchable. That was me actually sliding it. So it doesn't have touch face on it, it appears. Long press is required, carefully, to get it to switch. I'm just going to whip through them. That's the one we just saw. Here's another analog version. Now this watch face, this is one of them that you can download from the server. There's space for one extra watch face on the watch from the listing that's available, and we'll show you that, I guess, right now. Let's switch over to the app, shall we? It's called GloryFit. We reviewed it before. Here's a little picture of it. You can go to the Google Play Store and search on it, or use the link down below. We'll get you over there. I've used this watch for a while now, so I've got some good data for you. Temperature just got updated, as you can see. I got step count, a real-time heart rate, sleep time, and so forth. When you go in here, you see the breakdown. It automatically tracks things like your walking. It'll kick in on its own, shows you a bar chart, day, week, and month. You can send that out. You can bring up the calendar. All those things are capable in the app. You go into heart rate recording. Well, okay, I guess it doesn't. You touch it, and you can see the exact heart rate at the particular time of day that it happened. And this is from midnight, 3, 6, 11:30. So you've got a pretty decent heart rate chart. There, I got into it. And here it is expanded a little bit more. And, of course, you can touch it. Can we do that? No. You got the chart. You got your highs and lows. I love this tranquilization state. Which of the 50 states would you call the tranquilization state? Probably either Florida or Hawaii, right? Oh, I know, Arizona, really, tranquilization state. There's also stress relieving, fat burning, cardiopulmonary, anaerobic, and extremity state. Yes, that's where your legs and arms fly off your body. You're just doing so much. Overall, that's the heart rate. And again, you got by day and everything. Last night's sleep record is in here. From when you went to sleep to when you got up, broken up into deep, light, and awake times. There's no REM sleeping. You can analyze, though, that tells me that I went to sleep too late and easy to wake up, whatever that means, weekly, daily, and so forth. Those are the biometrics in here. There's blood pressure. Now, you can actually start a blood pressure reading when you have it on by pressing that button. It'll take you about a minute to get the reading. I did have some from yesterday, and they seem to be on the low side for me. I'm usually about 128, I think, over 70, 80, in that neighborhood. So there's no personal calibration available. So what you could do if you know your blood pressure from a cuff is add or subtract as necessary to the values that you get. That's pretty much what those personal readings do anyway, is it gives you an offset that it adds or subtracts from its own reading. There is no entry here for blood oxygen, although the device, as you saw, will do blood oxygen. So there needs to be an update, I believe, to the app in order to cover blood oxygen. But you do have heart rate, blood pressure, sleep record, and your exercise activity. Here in sports, you can set up with GPS in the phone itself an activity, walking, running, riding, these kind of things, and hit go. And that's a way that you can get GPS, but you got to have your phone along with you with the watch. Here's the device itself. This is where we're going to get into dial settings. You have all these other things that you can take care of. Going to go in here and show you the variety of faces that are available. That's the one that I downloaded, and it's really simple. You just touch it and sync it, and it'll transfer it over. You have My Dial, which is the one that I already downloaded, so I don't have to download it from the server to the phone again. I can put the ones, my favorites, on here, and then transferring them is faster and easier. And you can also create a custom dial with your own background, colors, move the time around, and do all that kind of stuff too, and then synchronize your custom dial as well. That is the device, and then the Me is where you put in your own avatar stuff. You set up a training plan, targets. Third-party access is only to something called WeChat Sports. And there you go. You've got another look at GloryFit, which we've done many times as well. So here's another one with the data from the watch. So I know you want to know, how does this compare with the non-pro version? Let's check that out next. First thing you notice is the charging approach has been changed. We're now to a magnetic coupling standard type charger. Oh, they love each other. Look at that. Magnets. And of course the original had this funky kind of an alligator clip that you had to line up with the pins and cover the screen and make sure it didn't slide off. Not really the best type of a design. Next thing you notice is the screen's totally different. We have a much bigger, longer, wider screen than on this one. We have the word ZEBLAZE at the bottom, and it's in a square, whereas this is much more rectangular. The single round button sticks out here. It's not a turn button, it just is a button. It's not a knob, really. And here it's a pillbox type of a button, and when you scroll, you can see a bit of the difference in the layout. This is a much brighter, better overall screen. So there have been some cosmetic enhancements, but one of the biggest changes is this. Yeah, you know what that is, don't you? That's a speaker. And somewhere on here is a microphone. Well, should be a little hole. There it is. Basically, this is a Bluetooth calling watch. You can receive calls, you can activate Siri or the Google Assistant from it and listen to the results on the watch. The whole works. You do not have that anymore now on this one. They've pulled out the whole Bluetooth calling thing and called it Pro. Interesting. It's Pro in some enhancements, but if you like Bluetooth calling, that's definitely a setback. 2021, they both came out about 6 months apart. Calling is supported on the original, not on the Pro. Bigger screen, bigger number of pixels. Battery capacity has gone down because it's not doing the Bluetooth calling. So it's a smaller battery, 15 days battery life versus 10. Both using Bluetooth 5, totally different apps. We went from 8 to 24 sports, not that you do that many. They both claim IP67. Again, that's splash resistance, not really designed for swimming or underwater. We're looking for a minimum IP68 or, ideally, at least 3 ATM or 5 ATM for that, and that's a pressure underwater. For literally taking it underwater, and the pressure that comes from swimming should be at least 5 ATM. So I'd be hesitant to get either of these seriously wet, even though we saw swimming is on this one. These are the sensors it's got, these are the dimensions, and this is actually heavier than this one, even though it's got a smaller battery in it. That's interesting, right? Another thing to look at is the build. This is a metal alloy, and you saw the silver one. This is the shiny black one, and this is pretty much plastic. So you have a much better overall build quality. And ideally, I would say this is much more waterproof, and it probably should be rated as at least 3 ATM, but they're not claiming that. So yeah, it's hard to tell. The strap sizes are identical, and yeah, you saw the size and the weight. This one's a little bit thicker, probably because of the speaker port. But all in all, decent watch. The GTS PRO from Banggood or from AliExpress official ZEBLAZE store. I got links in the show notes for you to pick them up, and a coupon, I'm sure, discount for you. The coupon, it's in flash sale, so I might not. Usually I can't get a discount if it's in a flash sale. But expect to pay around $25 to $27 for it. And a decent watch. If you like that larger display and a more subdued button, this could be the one for you. Alrighty, gang, thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.